I've spent over 13 million on Facebook ads in the past year and helped over 35 different brands go past 7 and 8 figures in revenue. It turns out that every winning ad campaign follows a series of settings that almost guarantees success. By the end of this video, you'll learn every strategy and setting that I use to generate over 25 million from my campaigns and how to adjust your campaign to different budget levels: low, medium and high budget. But before we jump into that, we need to understand that everything in this video is from my opinion and my findings. It's for you to go out there and test this yourself. There's a few variables that never change and we're going to run through them right now for all three campaign budget levels. The first variable is target audience. Now, no matter your budget, it's so important to get a good understanding of who your customer is. This is crucial for your targeting, your offer and everything to do with your brand. You really need to have a good understanding of your customers and your perfect ideal person that you're targeting, because your ads don't need to be brief, they don't need to be broad, they need to be targeted, and everything about your ad, your messaging, your copy on your landing page, your risk reversals, everything needs to be targeted at your perfect customer. Now, all that comes from your research, and that's one of the variables that will never change. Secondly, your ad creatives. The quality of your ad creatives needs to be high standard no matter what your budget is. Just because you've got a low budget or a high budget doesn't mean that you can cut corners with your ad creatives. They're either high converting and do well or don't. So ad creatives are either going to drive a low CPA or push your CPA up, the amount that you're paying to acquire a sale or acquire a customer. So your ad creative quality really needs to be there no matter what. Whether you're spending $100 a day or 100K per day, your campaign targets, objectives, KPIs that you want to meet, your benchmarks, they need to be clearly set out before you actually launch a campaign. This is going to give you clarity when you are up and running, whether ads are a winner, whether it's a loser, and it's going to give you the ability to optimize easily. If you go in there without knowing this, then you're not going to have a great chance of optimizing, because you're going to be emotional, you're going to leave ads running longer than they should be, and it's just not a good place to be. So that's another variable that will never change. Now, firstly, let's talk about small budgets and how I optimize those to minimize risk and increase the likelihood of getting more conversions. Typically, anything under $500 per day is considered a lower budget, but of course this depends on your product, average order value, and what your kind of goals are. Each one of these that I go through can be chopped and changed depending on each of those different variables I just mentioned. With a small budget, focus on only 1 or 2 campaigns, have a single ad set, and really minimize the amount of creatives that you're testing. Go for 2 or 3 creatives at a time maximum, just because you don't want to spread your budget too thin. So you only want to be using the conversion of purchases, of course, as your target of the campaign. So you want the intent of your campaigns to be purchases. Conversions are the goal. You can also set up a low spending, a really low budget retargeting campaign, a bottom of funnel campaign with just a few static ads in there, because that's going to help you to collect extra revenue. Consider CBO, campaign budget optimization, rather than ABO, to let Facebook allocate the ads spend to different ads rather than forcing ad spend down ads that aren't successful like you might in ABO. So this will really just help you to mitigate any risk, because the ads that are getting sent to them are what Facebook thinks are the best performers. So naturally, you're going to be mitigating risk because you aren't sending money to losing ads or ads that haven't got a chance. So you're not going to be testing ads as fairly and as regimented as an ABO and a CBO, ABO testing and CBO scaling. However, this will help you to mitigate risk. And if I had a brand, this is what I would do. Monitor and adjust your ads frequently. So with a low budget, it's really crucial that you don't make too many mistakes. You don't have as much room for error with that low budget. So you want to be in that ad account multiple times a day, checking, reducing ad spend, pausing ads and scaling ads. At this stage, in my opinion, you want to master one creative type, such as statics or UGC. That's going to be the backbone of your ad account. Rather than going too thin, unless you've got knowledge in the creative field or copywriting, I would recommend just focusing on one ad like UGC and really nailing it down, or just statics and really nailing it down. Once you feel like you've got a system in place to produce one creative asset consistently and get results, that's when I'd branch out to new assets and new formats. Now jumping into medium budgets, we're talking about an ad spend of around $500 to $5K per day. This budget level requires a little bit more strategy if you want to see the best results. At this stage, I'd want to be seeing multiple ad sets and multiple creative formats, like I said, and I would be setting up with an ABO testing campaign and a CBO scaling campaign. Inside your ABO campaign, you're going to be grouping your creatives by ad set. So if you've got one certain angle, one certain style, put those all in one ad set, and graduate winners to your CBO campaign once you've been seeing them hitting your KPIs for a few days. And remember to copy the post ID over so you keep all the engagement. At this point, I'd like to see you introducing multiple creative formats, so UGC, GIFs, high production, different concepts within each of those as well. So you can have VSLs, you can have unboxing, 3 reasons why. And you can do this with loads of different creative formats, loads of different creative concepts concepts, it becomes inefficient at this point not to have multiple creative formats, because you really want to start focusing on growing your Facebook ads funnel and getting the top of funnel growing, getting bottom of funnel converting really well, and all these different creative formats are going to help you build that Facebook ads funnel and move your potential customers through it. Be patient, because these levels can take longer to optimize on a bigger scale. So just remember, this is all about collecting data. Not every creative is going to be right first time, if we're all being honest. Some things do work first time, some things don't. It's a data collection period, and if you have that initial strategy in place that you can learn from, it's easy to reverse engineer your winning ads and avoid doing what you did wrong again. So you really want to have that strategy in place, launch the ads, look back, see how it did, analyze the data, and then iterate and make new ads that are going to be more optimized. So the whole goal is to find winning angles and winning creatives, learn from them, and build more. Now for our last budget level, we're looking at $5,000 per day and beyond. So with budgets like this, you can really take advantage of Facebook's algorithm and grow your Facebook ads funnel. And this is when you really need to have different ad creatives for each stage of the funnel, and you want to start looking at market awareness levels. So what is your messaging in your ads? Who are you targeting specifically? And it's so important to do this at every level, but it just becomes exploited more, and it's more obvious if you don't do it at these 5k plus per days level, because your ads just won't be growing, your ads funnel won't be growing, and your CPAs will start rising at this point if you don't really nail down exactly who you're targeting in your ads and what specific creative formats you're going to be using as a vehicle to present that to people. So it's really important that you nail it down. So you want different creative formats, and you want to be really specific in your messaging. Now at this level, you might start to consider segmenting your campaigns by country, because they're getting larger and larger. For example, an ABO testing campaign for the UK and a CBO scaling campaign for the UK, and then the same for the US, for a European country, etc, etc. It depends on your product and your brand and everything like that, but at this level it can definitely be interesting to do that. And you can also start trying other campaign formats like carousel ads, retargeting, Advantage Plus, because these can start to be really useful here. Now don't get me wrong, these can be useful at other levels, but as I said, this is my experience and this is how I've scaled. Again, at this point you want to have a really scientific, data-driven testing phase. So you want to test your ads and see if it hits your KPIs, scale it to the winning campaign, and continue scaling it in the testing campaign. So your testing campaign will 9 times out of 10 be your highest spending campaign, because that's where you're testing all your ads, and all the winning ads that continue getting scaled. There's no need to leave them or turn them off just because it's called the testing campaign. Continue scaling that testing campaign, but also add it to a scaling campaign in a CBO campaign, because this has more likelihood of scaling. They scale harder than an ABO campaign. Now it's crucial that you continue to test here and learn from your mistakes and learn from your winning ads week on week and month on month, because this is where the money's made, especially when you start finding winning ads. At this point you will be finding ads that scale really hard, and that's when you want to be iterating on them. So instead of always making net new creatives, which you should continue doing, you should also iterate your winning ads. So you'll find a winning ad at this stage, and you'll obviously find these at other levels as well, but at this stage, this is when it's going to really scale hard, and you'll find a winning ad, and you don't want to just completely make net new ads. You can try making iterations from this ad. Now let me give you some examples of the best ways to iterate on your winning ads. So the first one would be to change the hook and add on a seasonal hook if you've got a discount running, or a hook from another winning ad, a hook that's got a really high hook rate. Put that onto your winning ad, and take the hook from your winning ad and put that on multiple other winners. So just chop and change the hook. Another one is speed it up, slow it down. Just record the exact same ad again with the exact same person, and just change the t-shirt, change the props, change the background, just change something minimal. You can also speed the ad up, slow it down, add some different music, have no music, change the subtitles. There's honestly so many different ways you can make iterations of your winning ads. It's going to generate so much revenue for you, and I think it's so important that you do it. A lot of these methods that I went through can be subjective. It's important that you understand your brand, understand your customers, and you go out there and you test for yourself. But if you follow this, then it'll give you a good baseline to go and learn from. If you want to learn more about the strategies I use to scale e-com brands, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in this video.